This is Wall Street Weekly with BC PortCorp. Listen deeply, charts bleed reality. Green mixed with red, every ticker got a story, every dollar got a thread. Profits speak softly, losses scream loud. Bull markets whisper but the bears roar proud. Investing's more than digits, it's decoding minds. Patterns in the chaos, treasures you can find. Eyes wide open, stay sharp and precise. Cause easy money's myth, truth comes with a price. Watch the money flow, truth hidden in disguise. Risk what you know, wealth favors the wise. If you ain't thinking deeper than your pockets leak weekly, get your mind right. Get your mind right. Tune in to Wall Street Weekly. With BC PortCorp, we're making sense of the madness. Truth in the numbers, clarity from the vastness.
Hello everyone, sorry about that, microphone was not working, sometimes it likes to do that. But welcome to another episode of Wall Street Weekly. We're going to make this one a little bit quick. I know there's a lot of people that are streaming today. I just kind of wanted to focus on how the markets are reacting right now. Seeing a lot of volatility, we did get our interest rate cut, and now we're going to have to wait 30 minutes to hear what Jerome Powell is going to say. But I don't think I'll be on that long. Just kind of wanted to see how the markets are reacting, see if anyone has any thoughts that they'd like to throw out in the chat, or any assets that they'd really like me to take a look at while we're live today. But we did get that federal interest rate cut, so let's hop on over to that screen share and you can kind of see on that. We were sitting at 4.5. We did get that 25 basis point cut. Now sitting at 4.25. Let's hop over to that stock heat map, kind of see if anything's reacting with some strength, or if we're just going to continue with a little bit of sideways action. I know Bitcoin had quite a bit of volatility off of that interest rate decision, dropped all the way to the golden pocket, bounced back up to that 50%, and now we're just kind of sitting where we were before the federal interest rate decision. So we are seeing a little bit of some movement, but nothing too crazy just yet. I will expect a little more volatility off Jerome Powell speaking, and before we get there, let's take a look at a few assets. We were watching gold. As you can kind of see, gold did a very similar action to what we saw with some Bitcoin price action. Got that nice heavy pump towards the upside, dropped with some strength, got that move back up. If you watch Good Morning Crypto, we talked about our upside targets for gold being up here before we see some decent resistance. I'm still kind of targeting that. You know, there are a lot of people that have been hedging with some safety. You've seen that in the bonds market as well. Gold really getting that strong push towards the upside now. And we're not seeing that in a few of our other assets. You know, Nvidia still on its downtrend. Did get a little bit of a move up off of the news. Let's get that zoomed on in. Take a look at that 1 minute there. Did get a little bit of a move towards the upside here, but nothing quite as drastic as some of these other assets have been, like Bitcoin and gold. you are seeing that pretty much across the market. There has been a little bit of some upside movement, and then we're right back to where we started when we got that federal interest rate decision. Taking a look over at our bonds market, you can kind of see the reaction there as well. Has been a little bit of some sell off on the buying up of those bonds. Let me get that zoomed on in. There you go. That 1 minute, not getting very much volatility on the short term time frame. Zooming on out, taking a look at that 10 minute, there was some strength in the bond market. Yield going down means bonds are getting bought up. So people are hedging a little bit, meaning that maybe in the short term time frame, we are going to see a little bit of some upside movement on some of your assets. But in the long term, people are not seeing this federal interest rate cut as positively. We have talked about that a lot. We have been seeing inflation pressures be a little bit sticky. We are well above that 2% target that the Fed wants to hit. We did have some hot PPI numbers. The CPI also looking a little bit worrisome, but it was at a point where we could the Fed felt that they could make that cut and still fix the job market without inflation pressures being affected too heavily. It's looking, though, like most investors don't exactly agree with that sentiment. That's why that 10-year yield is dropping with some strength, down almost a full percent right now after that federal interest rate decision. You will kind of have, that's also why you're seeing gold get that move towards the upside. Not necessarily a lot of investors agreeing with that sentiment that in the long-term time frame that's an overwhelmingly positive thing. You have seen a lot in the crypto space that means your alt bags are gonna pump and all of that. Let's hop on over to a few of these crypto assets and see how the alts are actually reacting here, because you have things like XRP. Let's zoom that on in, take a little look at the shorter term time frame. Not really getting too much of a move towards the upside off of that. We'll follow this more closely as the day progresses, and we'll talk about it more tomorrow morning, but not seeing the drastic continuing move towards the upside here. Just some nice volatility, really maintaining this nice sideways range. We took a look at H bar this morning on my show, did get a little bit more of a move towards the upside today, but also seeing that pullback for now, and we'll kind of have to see if we continue to maintain that sideways range above the golden pocket that we were looking at, or if we end up getting that drop below it. We have talked a lot about Link here. You are seeing also Link making some lower highs here, so nice quick volatility and right back to where things started before you got that nice announcement of the FOMC's rate decision. So not a lot of pump and not a lot of dump. It looks like for now, the markets haven't really decided too much on whether this is positive or whether it's going to be negative. We do have quite a bit of liquidity towards the upside on the futures market, so we'll kind of have to see if that drags things up for a little bit. I was forecasting a little bit of some upside action on Bitcoin this morning to see a little more downside action afterwards, because in the short term, yes, a little bit bullish, cheaper borrowing costs, but you have seen a lot of worries. Housing market is looking all right. You have a lot of houses on the market and you're seeing demand pick up just a little bit, but you're also seeing those yields were remaining high until that federal interest rate decision today. That's where you're seeing that 10-year yield really get bought up with some strength. That's not always a positive thing, though. That is a lot of people hedging their assets with a more safety-based asset. So keep your eye on the markets today. Trade a little safe. I'm not seeing any requests either in the YouTube chat or over there on X. We got a lot of viewers over there. Thank you for everyone tuning on in. I did want to take a look at a few of those indexes, and then we'll kind of wind that show on down and see. And we've got a few people live. Would recommend going over to Alexo Crypto. He is trading through all this volatility, but we'll take a look at a few of these indices, and then we'll wrap that show on up nice and short. Didn't see a whole lot, hadn't pulled a whole lot of news articles yet. I've been kind of busy today, working on some things in the background. So as you can kind of see here, let's make sure it's on the right time frame. There you go. It is on that 1 minute. You're seeing a little bit of a sell-off on the NASDAQ. That is a little bit of a continuation of the trend. Not necessarily overwhelmingly bullish. We do have some resistance above us that we would really need to get above first before we can continue on towards the upside. But really maintaining some of that sideways momentum here in our current range. Not really seeing some drastic moves towards the upside here. S&P 500 seeing some heavy sell-off. It is at those big all-time highs. We did get that move directly up towards that all-time high that we had seen on the S&P 500, and then dipped right back down to where we were before that announcement. So nice little pump, nice little dump. We'll kind of have to see if we can continue that move towards the upside here on the S&P 500. We do have some areas above us that we could potentially look for some resistance. Let's get that zoomed on out just a little bit here. Get a bit of a better look. Looks like that next area to kind of look for some strong resistance. Let's get that fib extension tool pulled up. Did not get the new one. Switched over from the tablet to this one, so I don't know why they don't always sync there. We are sitting directly on top of our short-term time frame platinum pocket here. So we do have an area we could potentially look for resistance directly above us, coming in at $6,642. That's an area I would keep my eye on to see if we can get up to today. We do have that Dow Jones, seeing that move towards the upside off of that FOMC rate decision. We will kind of have to see if we can continue that upside trend. We have talked about a few targets towards the upside. Let me get that. Oh, I guess I don't have the fib extension tool on this one drawn. So let's get that zoomed on out. Take a look from those lows to the high there, because we are breaking outside of that fib retracement. Let's get that fib extension pulled on up here from the lows way back here. Getting up here and taking a look at the lows down here. We are sitting at that platinum pocket, waiting to see if we can break through that. That's been that first target, and we do have a target above that we'd look for at 48,800. So looking to see if we can break that platinum pocket and continue on towards the upside. Nice little all-time highs for that Dow Jones off that federal interest rate decision. Taking a look at that Russell 2000, also seeing some risk on in your smaller cap stocks here. We are sitting at all-time highs right now, waiting to see if we can continue towards the upside. That next little target I would kind of look for the Russell 2000, sitting all the way up here at $2,570. Quite a bit of upside to potentially get up to. We are sitting pretty much at those all-time highs, are seeing a little bit of some pullback right now. Let's get that zoomed on that 1 minute, seeing that nice strong rollover, and Bitcoin also seeing that rollover as well. So a little bit of some pump and then dump, which is what I had talked about this morning on Good Morning Crypto. If you don't catch those, might want to take a look. It is a great way to start out today. I know they're a little bit early, but you can always check it on the rewatch. I do a lot of news in the morning. We take a look at some charts together, and we take a trade together in the morning. We give away some of those proceeds to our watchers. So got some giveaways coming here soon, because we've been doing quite well trading together as a community. We are seeing crude oil maintain that sideways price action as well. Not anything too crazy off of that one. To be expected, oil doesn't normally get that drastic move unless we're hedging extremely hard. So silver also continuing to see a little bit of some upside move, just like gold was, are seeing a little bit of some pullback right now as Bitcoin and some of those other risk assets try to make some moves towards the upside. But you are seeing a little bit of some downside action now after the nice big move towards the upside on some of these safety assets, and those risk on assets getting a little bit of some pullback. So watch those markets today. Everyone trade safely. I'm going to drop the link for Alexo Crypto. If you are not a member of that channel, he just got his monetization back. So I'm definitely going to hop over in the chats over there. He is live trading that right now. Let's get that link shared on out for you over here on X. Go ahead, take a look at his channel. I will be over there in just a second. We will do another show here this weekend with a little more news. I will share a few of those other stocks that I've been taking a look at. But, you know, there's a lot of big names out there. I'm not really getting the viewership that I normally get on YouTube. So I'll send y'all over to Alexo Crypto, a bigger name in the space, who's actually live trading this FOMC event. I hope to see y'all in the chats over there. And until the next time, make sure you trade safe, because there's going to be some continued volatility. Make sure to watch all sides of the market, not just the assets that you're invested in, but your bonds market, your indices, the crypto side of things, because we're going to see movements in both directions. We are continuing to see that dump on some of those more risk on assets right now, and your safety plays, like I had kind of talked about this morning, are getting that bigger move towards the upside. So really wishing I'd stayed in my gold long. But until next time, I will see y'all in